Time to catch up on our favourite BBC daytime social engineering soap opera, Doctors.
I mean they. Yeah, the patient's preferred pronoun is they.
Oh, not this preferred pronoun nonsense.
It's not really nonsense, is it?
Sidetracked by woke nonsense!
You know that feeling when you're watching TV and suddenly it feels like someone's wagging their finger at you? Yeah, I had that moment watching Doctors. It was like being lectured by that one friend who just discovered social justice. But then I stumbled on Hacks, and it was like a breath of fresh air. Finally, a show that doesn't treat me like I'm 5. Let's talk about why one works and the other, well, doesn't. So, Doctors is now trying to be the woke police of daytime TV. Like, seriously? They're shoving pronouns and gender fluidity down our throats like it's the cure for cancer or something.
And the importance of a zero-tolerance approach to homophobia, transphobia, biphobia. The main aims are to raise awareness of the issues and barriers that LGBTQIA people face and recognise how better to promote equality and diversity in the workplace.
Remember that episode where the bigot doctor refused to play along with the woke agenda? Yeah, that was a real doozy. This poor guy just wanted to do his job, but nope, he had to get a lecture on how to address patients.
Why don't we scoot forward to gender fluidity and the importance of pronouns? All done and dusted. One shiny certificate.
Thank you. You've certainly given me plenty of food for thought.
As if doctors don't have enough to worry about already. But wait, it gets worse. Now they're pushing hormone treatments for kids. For kids! Like, can we let them figure out what flavor of ice cream they like before we start messing with their bodies? It's madness, I tell you. The show's basically turned into the oppression Olympics.
So calm, mature, forgiving. Nothing like your father.
Give him time. There are support groups, Dad. Helplines. Websites.
Do you remember when you told me that you didn't want to be called Jane anymore? You were 6.
Every episode is a competition to see who can be the most offended or the most progressive.
No, not really your cup of tea. Bit too alternative for your taste, eh? I'd say you're more of a traditionalist. I suppose you're free tonight, eh?
Sorry, what?
Drag show in town.
I don't think so.
Aren't you, Graham? It's a shame. It's a shame, because you could do with loosening up a little bit.
It's like they got a checklist of woke topics and they're ticking them off one by one.
If you want to work in healthcare, you're not going to get far looking like that. What's your real name? The name you were given at birth. What did you say your name was again?
Sky.
Is that a made-up name?
Here's the kicker. Hollywood wants you to think everyone and their dog is non-binary these days. But guess what? The actual stats tell a different story. Only about 0.3% of adults in the UK identify as non-binary. That's less than 0.5%, folks. But you wouldn't know it from watching Doctors. And you know what's really gonna grind your gears? This garbage is funded by your BBC license fee. That's right, you're paying for this nonsense. They're using your hard-earned cash to lecture you about how you're not woke enough.
So, how can I help you?
Is that for real?
You okay?
Yeah, I've got to go.
No. I think you should come and see me first. Okay? Yeah? Okay, just hurry.
That's you, begging, down by the war memorial.
Basket, friend.
I'm not your friend. Well, mate, it's Dad's on there.
I mean, come on, we're living in a world where the BBC thinks it's more important to push a woke agenda than to, I don't know, report actual news. Or make shows that don't make you want to throw your remote at the TV. You know what we should do? Defund the BBC. Why should we keep forking over our money for this rubbish?
He died for this country.
It's a churchyard.
Yeah, you stay out of there from now. Would you hear me?
I'm not non-binary, Dad. I'm a man. And I always have.
If they want to preach, let them do it on their own dime. But hold up, before you go thinking all TV's gone to the dogs, there's actually a show that's doing it right. A show that proves you can talk about real issues without treating your audience like they're idiots or bigots. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, let's take a breather from all this wokeness overload, shall we?
A spoilt little brat who thinks the world spins for her benefit.
Aren't you at least going to listen to what he has to say?
What, there's more? I've never heard such a load of old nonsense in my entire life.
Of course.
You're a child. Another multicoloured flag to run up the LGB flagpole. Oh, I'm sorry. LGBTQRS.
You know how most shows these days feel like they're run by the PC police? Well, Hacks said screw that and decided to tackle real issues without treating you like you're 5. How the hell did they pull that off? Let me tell you about Hacks.
The role of Ava in our new show, Hacks.
This is, I mean, come on, baby, what am I? But like when the camera cuts, we're both just like, sorry.
It's like someone finally opened a window in this stuffy room of woke TV we've been stuck in. The show's all about this older comedian teaming up with a young writer. You'd think it'd be a recipe for disaster, right? Like OK Boomer meets Snowflake in a cage match. But nah, these two actually respect each other. Crazy, I know. Here's the thing, Hacks talks about real stuff without shoving it down your throat. They're not wagging their finger at you or making you feel like crap for not being woke enough. They just let the characters be, you know? And guess what? It's funny as hell. The creators aren't trying to win the Oppression Olympics. They're just telling a story. Lucia Aniello, one of the big brains behind the show, said sometimes the biggest challenge to writing Hacks is compartmentalizing the fact that the world is literally on fire. See? They know the world's messed up, but they're not gonna lecture you about it. But here's where it gets really interesting. How do they handle the big stuff? You know, like climate change and cancel culture? The stuff that usually makes you want to change the channel faster than you can say virtue signaling? Well, hold on to your hats, folks. They actually let both sides have their say. I know, right? It's like they remembered what actual dialogue sounds like. They don't preach, they don't lecture, they just let the characters talk it out. It's almost like they think their audience has a brain or something. Take Deborah Vance, the older comedian. She's not some woke warrior, but she's not a dinosaur either. She grows, she listens, she adapts. When it comes to her past controversies, she doesn't just roll over and apologize. But she doesn't double down either. She actually thinks about it. Novel concept, huh? And get this, people are actually watching it. Critics love it, it's winning awards, and viewers aren't running for the hills. It's like they've cracked some secret code. You can talk about serious stuff and still be entertaining. Who knew? So why can't other shows follow this example? It's not rocket science, people. You don't need to beat your audience over the head with your message. Just tell a good story, have some laughs, and let people think for themselves. Is that really so hard, Hollywood? Look, we've seen the good, the bad, and the downright cringeworthy of TV. Doctors is out here trying to win gold in the woke Olympics, while Hacks is just doing its thing, making us laugh and think without the BS lecture. Here's the deal, TV doesn't have to suck just because it's trying to be all socially conscious and whatever. Hacks proved that, so why can't the rest of Hollywood get a clue? It's not rocket science, people. Just tell a good story, throw in some laughs, and trust that your audience has more than 2 brain cells to rub together. Maybe it's time we started voting with our remotes, you know? Turn off the preachy garbage and support shows that don't treat us like we're idiots. Cause let's face it, if we keep watching this woke nonsense, they're gonna keep making it. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather watch paint dry than sit through another episode of Pronouns 101 on daytime TV.